You know somebody who uses a mobile phone. Do you know, guys? I think everybody uses a mobile phone. But the thing is, not everybody knows about the dangers that we're exposing ourselves to daily from this low level radiation. Very important. So today we will be inviting our special Emguard specialists to share more about it.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to my very, very good friend, Emguard David. Let me share a little bit about him. David, I've known for a very, very long time. In fact, David is the guy who taught me a lot I need to know about the Enagic business. Okay? And he has specialized in the Emguard. He's so good about it, right? Nobody knows more about the Emguard than him. And he is the person who's going to give you amazing training so that you absorb everything. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Emguard David.
Thank you very much, Mingwei, for the warm welcome. Hello, everyone. Enagic launched Emguarde since 2 years and 3 months ago. Okay, and we've been accumulating a lot of marketing resources, including the training content that I have for you guys today. Okay, so just sit back, relax, and if let's say you miss some of the points, don't worry, because the entire training will be recorded. All right, and we plan to even convert today's training into Hindi language, into Tamil language for your people to understand better for today's training. So let's begin. Enagic's latest patented technology, the Emguarde. Okay. All right. Now, I want to bring you back to 30 years ago. Okay. Can you still recall 30 years ago when we used to drive our cars, or let's say some of you, you are not that old, you are in your parents' car. All right. Now, we used to drive cars with very minimum electronic gadgets or even screens, in the car itself. But today, look at the cars today. We are talking about, digital world. We're talking about GPS systems, flat screen, big monitors, and even EV pack. You need to recharge your cars with batteries. Okay, we call it the modern e-life. Later on, I'll explain to you more what is the meaning of e-life. All right. Now, of course, for the Enagic world, we call it the Enagic lifestyle. All right, but this e-life means something else. Okay. Now, 30 years ago, we used to live in homes like this. Homes are much simpler back then. Okay, with lesser, electrical gadgets, electrical appliances. But today, we're living in a world where screens, Wi-Fi routers, LED light bulbs, filled with all these different power cables hidden behind the walls, because we need all this, to call it a modern home. That's why we call it the modern e-life as well. Okay, so just picture yourself living in this, especially those who are living in condominiums, apartments, where you actually sandwich between the electromagnetic radiation from the floor above you and at the same time the floor below you as well. All right, so you're surrounded with all this, in energy. We call it energy. Okay, now 30 years ago, during our younger days, all right, or during your children's younger days as well. Now they used to play with all this, they play in football field, they play with bottle caps, a lot of outdoor activities. Okay, but today, our kids today are bombarded with modern gadgets like all this stuff you're seeing on the screen, the iPads, the phones and all that. Now, electromagnetic pollution is unique because it doesn't directly affect your senses. Unlike the other types of pollution, you can't see, you can't feel it, you can't smell it or hear it. So today, my job as the product specialist is to allow you to see the invisible danger that is lurking around your environment. All right? Now, I took this slide from one of the doctor who is presenting Emguarde as well in the Philippines. Her name is Dr. Pinky. All right. Now, according to her research, she found out that the background level of electromagnetic radiation have increased by 1 quadrillion times as compared to the Earth nature background radiation. Now, why is it this much? Ask yourself, 30 years ago, how many of you actually own this thing that I'm holding here, this gadget, the mobile phone? All right, just type in your chat box, 30 years ago, how many of you actually own this thing? All right, versus 30 years later, which is today, 2025, how many of you have more than one handphone in your pocket or in your bags today? All right. How many of you have more than one handphone? Can I see a digit 2 or 3 or 4 in the chat box? See it for yourself. All right. Now, some of you have 2 for business. Some of you have 3 phones, or maybe 1 phone and 1 iPads, or even 1 laptop and 2 handphones. All right. It's a combination of multiple gadgets as well. Now, that cumulatively, that contributes to this increment of the background radiation. We call it invincible energy. Okay. Now, so today I'm going to help you to see what sort of differences in terms of the radiation level in different environments. Okay. Now, because I'm from Malaysia, so I did this experiment in my homeland as well. You can do it in India, all right, when you get hold of all these demonstration gadgets as well. Now, the first environment I did the test is actually in a beautiful park where there is no building, there is no telecommunication signals around, there's no cell tower. It's a very peaceful park. And I did this test in a park by using a very sophisticated gadget called the SDR software. Later on, I'll explain to you more about this gadget because you need this gadget to do your demonstration for Emguarde, okay? So let's take a look at the video first before I explain further. Okay, folks, in this experiment, I'm going to test out 3 different settings in terms of background radiation noises, okay? And as you can see, I turn on my... Is the volume okay, Mingwei? All right, good. I'm going to replay again just to make sure that everyone can hear it clearly. Okay, let's do it. Okay, folks, in this experiment, I'm going to test out 3 different settings in terms of background radiation noises, okay? And as you can see, I turn on my SDR software and tune it to 72 megahertz. And the background noises in this environment, it's very low. It's averaging at about negative 75 dB. If you notice on the left here, okay, it's negative 75. And let me show you where I am now. I'm actually in this beautiful natural setting. You can see the lake is right behind me and the trees as well. So in settings like this, all right, the readings are fairly low. And if you can come back to the screen again, it's averaging at about negative 75 dB. Okay, it's very low. All right, so stay tuned for the next video because I'm going to show you another different setting and I'm going to scan the area again to show you how high the background radiation is. Okay, so from this first video, if you notice, the data captured from this software, it's 75 dB, decibel, okay, in average. Now, any of you here, you actually live next to a lake, in the middle of the jungle, next to a lake like this. Anyone here, you live next to a lake like this? Maybe you can type in 2 in the chat box. I want to see how many of you live in environments like this. Hardly any, right? Now, imagine you live in the middle of Mumbai city, all right, or in the middle of, let's say, Gujarat, Chennai, you name it, Hyderabad, New Delhi. It is almost impossible for you to even look for a place, clean from background radiation like this. It's tough, all right, especially in high density cities, okay? Now, the next test, I'm going to change my environment, okay? The next test, I'm actually doing it, this is actually where I used to live. I'm actually doing it in one of the living estate. We call it housing estates, okay, in Malaysia. And in this housing estate, there is something very special around this house, okay? So now let's watch the video and let the video explain to you before I elaborate further. Okay, folks, now back to experiment 2. This is where I used to live. And I've actually tuned the SDR software to the same setting, 72 megahertz. And if you can see, the SDR is registering a lot of background energy. These are the waterfalls like the noise back here. And the scale is averaging at about negative 25 to about negative 20. You see, as compared to yesterday where we did the same experiment in the nature setting, where the SDR is actually registering a negative 75 dB. Okay? And back here, what you're seeing here is actually the high tension cable. And this is actually the environment I used to live more than 30 years ago. Okay, let's take a look at the contrast again. At 72 megahertz, the background noise is obviously higher, it's negative 25 in average. Okay, now if you look at this second environment testing, if you notice, the average dB from the SDR software is captured at negative 25. And some of the peaks actually reaches negative 20 decibel as well. All right, you can actually see that there is a hype of background noises increasing by changing the environment from the natural setting into a housing estate next to a high tension power line. All right, it's very obvious, okay? Now, the third setting that I'm about to do for you, it's actually in an indoor setting. Okay, so this is outdoor. I'm going to do another one indoor, and I managed to capture this video in one of the Airbnb hotels in my home country as well. Okay, let's watch the third video before I explain further.
Okay guys, this is something pretty shocking. We rented this Airbnb and I started to experience this unexplainable headache whenever I go near to the kitchen and prepare the food. So what happened was, we got this gadget here. So remember, I always say that, you know, our human body organs aggregate frequency is around 55 to 90, and we found that 72 is actually the brain frequency. So I'm going to hook up the software here to identify what causes my headache, because 72 is actually the frequency of your brain. So over here in this setting, we got two LED lights, one above us, another one is actually the small one over here. The switches are over there. Okay, the switches are over there. So let me turn on the first switch of the LED, and I want you to see the noise spectrum from the LED lights. The first light. See the noise came at 7 Hz, and the flux it stretches from 7 to about 72.3, and all the way down to about 73 megahertz. The second LED above my head, which is the top one, I want to see the noise goes in color. Okay. So the LED, this is the first one, and the second LED is actually above my head. And so you can see the spectrum here, the noise became darker and darker.
Okay, are you guys seeing this? All right, by just turning on the LED lights in the kitchen, it actually, all these readings from the SDR software actually escalated, from an average of negative 30 all the way to about negative 15 to speak as well. So now, let me put everything together in one picture so that it's easier for you to do comparison.
Okay, guys,
I've actually done this, all right? Now, the first picture on your left, if you can still recall, was my first experiment did in the park next to a lake. Okay? Now, the E noise level averaging at about negative 75 decibel. Okay? Now, let's compare it to the second one, which is the outdoor setting. Okay, the place where I used to live. If you notice, the E noise level averaging at about negative 25 dB, and according to the calculation in dB scale, it is 100,000 times stronger against the natural environment. If you do the calculation, right? There's actually a calculation. Later on, I'll show you one of the laboratory report that we did for the Emguarde, and there is a calculation formula there as well. Okay? Now, if we compare against the third setting, which is indoor, all right, against that, the E noise level is averaging about negative 20 dB. And according to the dB scale calculation, it is 316,000 times stronger against the natural environment. Now, ladies and gentlemen in India, how many of you are actually living in such an environment? Look around you. I want you to look around you, all right, around your house. Now, anyone of you here, you have got more than 2 or 3 gadgets sitting right in front of you, including your TV, your Wi-Fi routers, your mobile phones, your, let's say your laptops, all right? I want you to type in how many electronic or electrical devices you have around you, just within the areas that your eyes can see. And I want you to type in on the chat box. Let's say you have 3, you put 3. You have 8, you put 8, all right? Look at the chat box. All right, there you go. Okay, now, next one. Now, when we talk about all this background radiation, we also need to know what are the negative sides. Okay, what are the negative sides of all this? Now, I'm going to use documentation cited from all these official studies, okay, PubMed. All right, it's available back in the National Library of Medicine in the United States of America. All right, in PubMed, my team and I managed to do some research. All right, now for those people who don't know what's PubMed, PubMed is a free online search engine where you can find all sorts of medical and scientific research paper. All right, it is run by the US National Library of Medicine, and mainly articles related to medical journals, health studies, scientific research on diseases, treatments, and biology as well. Okay, now in this amazing site, we managed to capture one of the many other articles, and this article is talking about e-noise and increasingly relevant health risks. So my earlier slides, I was talking about e-lifestyle. All right, now when we call e-lifestyle, means it's actually not something good. All right, it is bad. We call it this. The e-noise is defined as signal from electronic products and instruments that emits radiation and electromagnetic fields. All right, so e-noise represents the electromagnetic radiation energy. All right, so when I say we're living in the e-life, means we're living in such irradiated space, all right, or environment. Okay, now according to this article, if you dive into this article, all right, now this is actually one of the pages where it wrote about all these different health risks or health related disease. Okay, now for example, e-noise is hypothetically independent risk factor, all right, and e-noise not only leads to hearing loss and health problems such as fatigue, stress, headache, insomnia, endangered cardiovascular system. Now, at the same time, it is also connected to stroke, as well as brain and metabolic imbalance, obesity, diabetes, cancer, you name it. Okay. Now, the final lines. First, e-noise at home or in the general modern environment may be genuinely threat to human health and will only increase in scope due to the popularity of personal computers and smartphones and overall ubiquity of modern e-life. So this is what I meant by e-life. Okay? All right. Now, next. Now, I'm going to give you more research so that you can use this as part of your marketing presentation material as well. Now, we noticed that there is one research did back in 2019, okay, by this PhD Ed Hartman. And in his research, he managed to accumulate 871 people, and he's actually asking them questions relating to the electromagnetic field exposure. Now, to my surprise, this is actually the data drawn from his research. Okay? Now, health-related problems through the EMF exposure. Now, look at the top 5 problem. Okay? 71% of them reported that they have sleep problems. All right? Now, 64% reported that they have fatigue issues, followed by concentration, memory, and learning problems, okay, which is accounted for 61%. Stress and anxiety, 60%, and headache, 52%. Okay, now I just want you to just focus on the top 5 problem, okay, the top 5 problem, because the top 5 problem has got something to do with the brain. Okay, if you focus at all the symptoms, now sleep problem, the brain is not producing enough melatonin, all right? It's actually a type of chemical that your brain produces to put you to sleep at night, all right? So when people have sleep problem, which means that exposure to EMF can actually affect the melatonin production from the brain as well. Fatigue can be due to mental stress, all right? Fatigue. Concentration and memory learning problems. Now, if you notice, kids these days, they have learning issues, all right? They are less focused, and they are very addicted to electronics like mobile phones and iPads and cartoons and stuff like that. And they are encountering learning problems or concentration issues when they go to school as well. Okay? Stress and anxiety, mental illness. All right? Something to do with the head. And of course, last but not least, headache. All right? So more than 50% of these people, they're experiencing something, we call it the EMR sickness, and these problems are related to the brain or the mind itself. Okay? Now, let me give you a clearer picture. Now, this research paper is actually from India, all right, from your beautiful homeland. So I managed to get this research paper. It's talking about the aggregate frequency of the body organs. Now, according to this research, they found out that our human brain frequency, which is the aggregate frequency of the human brain, is operating at around 72 megahertz. Okay? So I want you to remember 72 megahertz, a magic number. And earlier on, during my testing I did in the 3 different environments, I'm actually tuning that gadget into 72 megahertz. Okay? Because that particular frequency has got something to do with the brain. Okay? And in today's training, I'm going to show you how Emguarde is able to harmonize one of the most important frequency, and that's the reason why people are getting positive results, from this. Okay? So how Emguarde works. All right? Let me give you in a nutshell. It is a patented technology, and it harmonizes unwanted electromagnetic radiation targetedly, all right, between 3 megahertz up to 1000 megahertz. Okay, now a picture paints 1,000 words. Let me draw you straight to the demo video later, okay? But before that, documentation always beats conversation, okay? Now, Emguarde product has actually gone through a series of testing, and this is one of them, all right? It has been put into test by one of the PhD holder in one of the local university. It's called University of Science of Malaysia, all right? And Dr. Yamanfai is actually the PhD holder who signed this testing paper. He holds 4 different PhDs, by the way. Okay? Now, in this training, I'm going to show you that. Now, they actually did this test, on the Emguarde. If you notice, the test is actually starting from 1 meter all the way to 4 meter coverage, and they extended it to 6 meter, all right? Because Emguarde only covers up to 4 meter radius. But in this laboratory test, they did it all the way to 6 meter, okay? So in other words, Enagic is actually under-promising you the effective range of the Emguarde itself. Okay? And if you notice, let me zoom in. Okay? Now, the left-hand side data was before Emguarde is turned on. If you notice, there are a few different places here: residential space, working office, laboratory. Okay? So before Emguarde is turned off, so these are the decibel readings captured from the same SDR software I used in the earlier demonstration. Okay, it's the same software. Now, when Emguarde is turned on, look at that. All the way from 1 meter to 6 meter. I want you to focus on the percentage of suppression in terms of percentage. If you notice, all the way from 1 meter to 6 meter, okay, for residential space, Emguarde is able to suppress more than 99%, all right, compared to before it is turned on. Okay, so this is actually one of the laboratory paper. You can use this as part of your marketing material as well. We got all this. Now, during your free time, you can just take a look at all this. Okay, so these are all the data capture, and you can actually download the full report from our Telegram channel. Okay, so let's take a look at the conclusion. The Emguarde electromagnetic noise radiation harmonizer successfully reduced unwanted electromagnetic noise wave between all these targeted frequencies, all right, in all test environments until its 6 meter coverage. Okay, and this paper is actually sealed, chopped, and signed by a 4 PhD holder by the name of Dr. Yamanfai. Okay, there you go. So now, in a nutshell, Emguarde utilizes the harmonic frequencies to effectively suppress targeted electromagnetic noise radiation between 3 megahertz to 1000 megahertz and within the 4 meter radius. Okay, so the multiple layering of harmonics. So whatever we are showing you, on the demo is just part of the many others, different frequencies that Emguarde is working on. Okay, but for demo purposes, we want to be simple, we want to be straightforward. There's a reason why we're encouraging the distributors to use the frequencies that is suggested by us. Okay, so now the multiple layering of harmonic frequencies is strategically programmed to target specific frequencies at 36 megahertz, 72, 108, and all the way to 1000 megahertz. All right, so this is how it works in a nutshell. Now, I'm going to show you a live demo now. I managed to capture this particular video quite recently because we've been going around Enagic offices to do the Emguarde training. And so happened that I was in Hong Kong, for the Hong Kong Emguarde event. So I managed to capture this particular video back in April this year, which is not long ago, about 3 months ago. Okay, I would like to share this video with you. Just watch it before I explain further. Let's take a look at the video.
Okay guys, I'm in the middle of Hong Kong City, and I would like to test the background radiation level in my hotel room, okay? So I've actually pulled out my SDR software and tuned it to specifically 72 megahertz, and this is actually the data that's been capturing from my SDR software. If you look at the decibel here, it's averaging about negative 25 decibel, okay? Now that's before I turn on the LED lights. Now what happens when I turn on the LED lights now? Okay, the lights are on, and if you notice, the average dB increases from negative 25 to about negative 20. Okay, look at the peaks there. all right? So what I have here is my Emguarde next to the window. So let's see what happens when I turn on the Emguarde. 3, 2, 1, go. There you go. So it harmonizes 72 megahertz and it suppresses the radiation to about negative 55, as low as negative 55 in average. Now let's do a contrast by removing the power line. Immediately the radiation comes back to negative 25 to 20 and go again. There you go. So Emguarde is able to protect you in situations and environments like this. All right? Thank you very much.
So now, for those of you here who are watching this video for the first time, magical, isn't it? Okay, let's give a round of applause for this latest Enagic product. All right, this is life-changing, and this product is going to change the world immensely. And I believe that this product is going to change the Indian community as well, back in India. All right, now again, let me just remind you on certain things that I set on this particular software. If you notice, on the top of my phone, it is actually preset at 72 megahertz. Because I already told you that 72 megahertz is actually the brain's aggregate operational frequencies. So this is actually one of the most frequencies that Emguarde harmonizes in order for you to get positive results when you use the Emguarde back in your home, your car, or even your offices. Okay, so this is a quick demo. You can use this video or you can do your own videos back in India, no problem. Okay, now one important question I have for you this morning, okay, my fellow Indian friends. How many hours do you use your mobile phones daily? How many hours? Just be truthful. If it's 30 minutes, you put 30 minutes. All right? If it's 1 hour, you put 1 hour. All right? There you go. Okay? You can say it to yourself, all right? Some of you, I notice whenever I ask this question, some of you here, you're actually using the mobile phone for more than 5 hours a day. You have no choice. Because you've got a lot of different downlines to communicate with, isn't it? You've communicated with this downline, then this downline again, that group, that group. So some of you here, you're using the mobile phones for many hours. Now, the next question I'm about to ask you is, how many hours do your children use the mobile phone daily? Your own children, when they watch the cartoons, when they play the mobile games. How many hours do they use the mobile phones on a daily basis? Now, why this question is so important? Okay, because the next slide I'm about to share with you is going to shock you. Okay, now I'm going to introduce this beautiful lady to you. Her name is Dr. Magda Harvest, and she's actually a Canadian researcher and professor as well. Now she devoted her life to actually, do experiment and also do findings on how electromagnetic pollution actually affects your health. Now, if you look at this, according to her research, all right, if you look at this picture, just 10 minutes of mobile phone use, 10 minutes, all right, it is able to cause your red blood cell to go into this kind of formation. Now, in the scientific word, we call it the rouleau formation. Okay, it simply means that your red blood cell actually stacks together. It's like coins. It's like a stack of potato chips or Pringles. Okay, so by just 10 minutes of mobile phone use, it is able to reshuffle or reshape your red blood cell into this condition. Now, if you look at the one to the left, 70 minutes of desktop or computer usage, your red blood cell is already turning into another structure as well. Okay, now according to Dr. Magda Harvest's explanation in her video, this formation in the live blood, which is your red blood cell, is what she normally sees in her cancer patient's blood or her diabetic patient's blood. Okay, so this is not what she normally sees in the cancer patient or the diabetic patient's blood. But today, I'm telling you, by just using this gadget 10 minutes, the red blood cell is able to go into a critical rouleau formation as well. All right, which is the same scenario. Now, let's look at the symptoms. All right, now when our red blood cell forms into rouleau formation, it is going to cause poor circulation. All right, it is going to cause low oxygen transports. All right, and of course, all the different problems as well, headache, fatigue, difficulty in concentrating. Okay, now this explains why earlier on I was sharing with you a research done in America, 2019, why people reported that they have this concentration in, difficulties in concentrating. All right, more than 50% of them say they have headache issues, fatigue. Why? This is actually the root cause of all symptoms as well. Okay, which is the rouleau formation. All right, now this next video that I'm about to show you is mind-blowing. All right. The first time when we did this video, it was way back. All right. When I saw this, it was way back. It was been broadcasted back in 2023. All right. Where one of the Emguarde users, he got so curious, he actually took his own Emguarde and he went to a medical lab and he met Dr. Roland. And Dr. Roland was actually the medical personnel that, helped him to do this test, because she find that, if let's say whatever Dr. McDahauer's claim that your mobile phone is able to cause rule formation is true, then he might be able to see it in his own blood as well. Okay, so he documented the whole process together with professional doctors' help as well. So I would like you to take a look at this video, all right, the before and after results of using the Emguarde technology by Enagic. Let's take a look at the video.
So what we can do is, you get on your phone for maybe close to about half an hour, holding it, and then we'll check again and see how does the capillary blood look like.
It looked like my first blood test result was clean, with no signs of blood clotting or blood clumps. But would just 30 minutes of cell phone usage really do any harm at all to my body? I hope not. Let's find out.
Okay, let's have a look. So you can see all the cells now being stacked. See, all of them, you cannot see those loose cells. You can see most of the cells now all stacked.
Bumped up together, right?
Exactly. Just look at that. The big message is always to try to reduce our exposure. It's almost impossible not to use, but try to be a bit more cautious in the usage.
The thing is, I know you say it's better to reduce. It's impossible for somebody like me, and I'm sure there's lots of people out there that also need to be holding their phones. So, is there anything I can do?
This is the device that can actually help harmonize your electromagnetic frequency wave. And you want to see how it works?
Sure.
Come.
With the environment harmonizer turned on beside me, Dr. Roland and I proceeded to do a third blood test to see just how well this technology supposedly suppresses EMI. Okay, so this looks completely different to the last test, doesn't it?
Yep. Clearly looks different, lesser rule of formation.
Wow, look at that. All right. Now, after showing you this video, I want to ask all of you here, my fellow Indian friends, one simple question. How big is the Emguarde market in India? All right. Now, after understanding this particular demonstration, you must understand that whoever uses the mobile phone, all right, can potentially get themselves into the rouleau formation, which is on the left, the picture on the left-hand side. Okay, by just 30 minutes of mobile phone use, the live blood actually goes into this kind of formation. They call rouleau formation. All right, and after turning on the Emguarde for 30 minutes, and on the right-hand side, this is actually blood samples captured from Dr. Roland's clinic as well. So ask yourself this question, all right? How big is the Emguarde market in India after seeing this demonstration itself? All right, I leave the rest to you, which is imagination. Okay, now besides Dr. Roland, we have got another local doctor. His name is Dr. C. He did the same thing. As a medical professional, he got curious and he bought this Emguarde as well, and he did the same thing. And I would like you to listen to his feedback as well.
Thank you. I'm Dr. C, a wife of husband of Grace Mary, who is a distributor. I've been recently, for the past few months, have been testing about the evidence whether this Emguarde really can cause the microcirculation to be better. And usually I will do it on those who come to me. I prick the finger tip before they were exposed to Emguarde. Then 20 to 30 minutes after they were with Emguarde, I prick another time to see whether the rural formation of the blood has been separated. Truly, of all the cases that I did, the rural formation stopped and the red blood cells start to separate singly. And this is something very phenomenal and always true.
Okay, so this test is actually did by another doctor, different personnel as well, and this is only 20 minutes. of before and after phone usage, and of course, 20 minutes of turning on the Emguarde. Okay, if you look at the picture, all right, obviously it's different as well. So this is actually the benefit, the true benefit of why people are investing into the Emguarde technology, and how the Emguarde technology is able to help the users to experience this. All right, to mitigate the root cause of problems. Okay, the root cause of radiation is going to cause the lifeblood to get into another formation, and Emguarde is there to help you to mitigate the risk starting from the root cause. Okay, there you go. All right, now, as a general conclusion, when we're in sync with the Emguarde's harmonized zone, we can potentially lower our risk from the negative effects of EMR affecting our sleep, energy level, eye microcirculation of our blood, and rouleau formation as well. So this is actually the whole nutshell on how Emguarde actually works and how do you actually get the benefits of the Emguarde as well. So first of all, you need to be in sync with the Emguarde's harmonized zone. If let's say the Emguarde is able to harmonize your environment at a 4-meter radius, you have to be mingling around within the 4-meter radius, okay, in order for you to see such a result. All right, now, and if you have a big house, of course, one Emguarde is insufficient. You need more than one, because the Emguarde is only built to harmonize up to a 4-meter radius, and in the diameter, it's only up to 8 meters in diameter. Okay, so if you're living in a big house, congratulations, you need more than one Emguarde. Okay, and if your customer is living in a bigger house, congratulations again, you can sell him more than one Emguarde. All right. So now I'm getting to the final part of my presentation. Okay, so for all of you here who are in for this, you're in here for the business. Now you need to learn about the demonstration too. I would like you to take a screenshot on this particular screen, because on the left-hand side, the QR code will actually bring you to the setup. Okay, so this is for you to learn how to set up the RTL SDR software I use together with my Android phone. Okay, which is all the videos you see in this presentation. I did it through the first gadget, the RTL SDR V3 setup. Okay, now for those of you here who are not using an Android phone, let's say you're not using an Android phone, you're using Apple. All right, now Apple is not compatible with this software. So my recommendation is you can actually go for the next SDR software. On the right hand side, we call it the Guarde SDR, and this QR code will lead you to the setup as well. Okay, so now this tool is a very important tool in your Emguarde business, because you need this tool first of all to identify the background radiation around your environment. Okay, now the second function of this tool is to confirm that the Emguarde suppression works at 4 meters in radius. Okay, so you're able to see the suppression, when you turn on the Emguarde as well. Okay, so this thing is something like your pH tester. It's something like your ORP meter you use in your Kangen business. Okay, so please remember to take a screenshot, and this is the 2 important tools for you to start the business. Now, our team has actually created some videos like this. For example, Mr. Simon Low himself actually did this video, and in this video, he's going to talk about how the Guarde SDR works as well. Let's take a look at the video, okay, before I explain further.
Hi everyone, today I'm very excited to share with you another great marketing tool that you can use for your Emguarde demo. It's called the Guarde SDR detector, and what I love about this detector is it has a big screen, and it's very easy to set up and use. It's not affected by static interference, and it also has a loudspeaker for you to use during your Emguarde demo. You'll know what I'm talking about later on. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to introduce David right there. David, say hi to the camera. Hello. Alright, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a before and after Emguarde test using the Guarde. Alright, and I want you to see the difference on the screen. So I'm going to turn on the detector. And once it's turned on, the first thing you can see is this waterfall spectrum that comes down. And what you will notice is I've actually tuned the Guarde to 72 megahertz because that is the operating frequency of our brain. And you would notice the noise radiation level here via the dB scale. All right, and these are all the data of the noise radiation. So I'm also going to turn on the speaker for you guys to hear. All right, and in the count of 3, David is going to turn on the Emguarde, and I want you guys to see the difference. In 3, 2, 1, go. Take a look at that. All right. So what you will notice is instantly the dB scale noise level has reduced, and the green color wave spectrum has already been cleared to a very dark blue color, which means this area is cleared off of the noise interference. All right, so let's do another test. Let's pull out the Emguarde again, turn it off, and you will see everything comes back instantly. And now with the Emguarde turned on again, you would see instantly the results. So this is simply amazing, right? Now the Guarde is able to really showcase what the brain and our organs are going through every single day, and it's able to convert something that is invisible into something that we can see and experience, all right? So this is the short demo for the Guarde SDR detector. Right, so Emguarde aims to create an environment for all of its users into a peaceful and serene environment. All right, so if you want to know where to get the Guarde SDR detector, it is available on most of the e-com websites. I will put the model name at the end of this video for you guys to go and purchase your detector. Happy Emguarding!
Okay, so this is actually one of the tools, for those Apple phone users. You don't have the RTL, we call it RTL SDR Touch software. You can use this Guarde SDR software, as your demonstration tools as well. All right. Now, for those of you here who do not know how to tune this, again, our team has actually put together a video to actually teach you, or new people who wants to do demonstration. Now, this is actually a step-by-step. I'm not going to play the whole thing, all right? Because after this training, you're going to get hold to this video, right? There's a QR code. You can watch it for yourself. And it's something to do like this. So these are all the marketing materials that you'll be getting, all right?
So when your detector screen looks like this and you want to change the setting, you have to press the knob and twist it. Do not release the knob, all right? Only until you've reached your destination, then you release the knob and you twist again. So press the knob, do not release it, and then once you've reached your setting, only then you release the knob and start to twist it to where you want it to be. In this case, I twist it to number 2. Okay,
so now this whole video is going to take 2 minutes. All right. Now, on your free time, please go to the QR code. Later on, I'm going to share it. So you can watch this. It's like the step-by-step dummy guide to educate you on how to tune your demonstration tools. Okay. All right. We've got all this for you. You don't have to do it yourself. All right. Everything, it's very straight. Now, the next video here, it's how you can install the RTL SDR software on your Android phone, and how to actually connect it to the hardware as well, which is the dongle and also the multiple antenna that I'm using, in all my tests as well. So this is, again, another step-by-step video. All right, it's like a dummy guide to teach you step 1, do this, step 2, do that. All right, so everything is installed for you. Okay, so I'm not going to play the full video. I would like to encourage you to do this after the session, because we've got more content to share with you after my session as well. Okay, so let's not waste time on all this. You can always go back to this one. Let me show it to you. Okay, now, where to buy the Emguarde tools? Now, these 2 QR codes are going to lead you to one of the e-commerce website, all right, that sells this gadget. Make sure that you go to the same QR code, because there are different models in the market. And please do not buy the wrong demonstration tools, because there are different specs, different model, and if you buy the wrong one, it might not work, during your demonstration. Okay, so take a very important screenshot. Just take a screenshot, all right, of this, and make sure that you get to the correct e-commerce website to buy, or even you can jot down the specs, all right, the technical specs of the gadget, and get the correct model, for your home country as well. Okay, and for the setup, I'm going to go back to a few slides before. So this is actually the QR code for you to learn how to set up, and this is the setup video. All right, take another screenshot on the 2 QR code. This is very important for you to learn how to set up your RTL SDR software and also the Guarde SDR device. Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right, now last but not least,
gentlemen, that was so amazing by our Mr. Emguarde, David.